How's it going, guys? Today we're going to make a video about how to mount and possibly make your own front splitter that's actually functional, not just for looks. Please ignore any unnecessary wind noise, as my external microphone with the dead cat, I guess I left it on and the battery is completely dead. So first thing we're going to do, because I know all of you guys are going to ask and I'm not going to answer it in the questions, who makes this splitter and who makes my hood vents? They are made by the same guy. His name is Eric. His Instagram handle is tangerine_STI. But if you would like hood vents, he does make them. They are universal for any car as long as you have a flat surface to work on. But this splitter is made out of wood, and it is a full complete splitter that goes underneath the front of the car, as you guys will see in a bit. So without further ado, Eric, Tangerine STI on Instagram, if you would like a set of hood vents, possibly a splitter. But let's go ahead and take the front bumper off, and I'll show you guys the mounting points, as it utilizes all OEM spots used by Subaru. Full disclaimer, after watching the footage back, you're gonna have to DIY the crap out of this if you're gonna want to make your own. So I know my video was not probably the most useful as it could be, but it's kind of showing you where you'll mount it and everything. But if you guys are up for the task of really creating something, and you have the time, you have the patience, especially during this quarantine, you'll be able to make it work. I mean, a lot of people are asking me to showcase my front splitter and how I mounted it, and that's how it's mounted. Guarantee you you won't mount it the same way if you make one yourself. Alright, just like that, the front bumper is off. So I'll show you guys the best I can without jacking the car up, and then we might have to jack the car up. I think we will. But first and foremost, these little side bolts, you are going to have to cut your fender liner. Let me make it less dark for you guys. You are going to have to cut your fender liner, and he made this bracket himself, which goes straight up to this little hole that's already on the Subaru. Not exactly sure. Fender empty hole. I don't know what you call that, but so you have that on both sides, and then you can quick release it. I'm debating of trying to make something so I don't have to take the bolts off every time, to somehow get a quick release system. Because for oil changes, as you guys will see once I jack this car up, I guess actually I thought I could do it without doing that, but alright, just like that, the car is jacked up. So you have your two side mounts on here, and underneath, alright, underneath you have a lot of mounting points. So these two are the fender mounts, which are held on by bolt and washer, and then nut, and then underneath, oh, I gouged that. Oh, a spider came out of there. Then underneath all that, you're gonna have one bolt here that goes straight up underneath and connects to your subframe. It's an OEM mounting location point. It screws right in. You don't have to do any drilling or anything. It just goes. You're gonna just need a long enough bolt that can tap in. I will ask Eric for the exact thread measurements of everything, and I'll post everything down below. So you have two of those, one there, one there. So you have two of each, basically. And then right here, he made a custom bracket that, once again, mounts to the subframe with bolt, washer, and that comes up right there. So if you're gonna do an oil change, he cut his out. As you guys can see, there's a hole for the oil filter and a square for the drain plug. Since I have the Killer B, I can't use that, so I have to take it off every time. I think next time I do an oil change, I'm gonna take this off, and I'm gonna get a Fumoto drain plug that I have already, but with the nipple, so I can leave this on, stick a tube on, and undo it without taking the splitter off. So you have two mounting points here, 2 mounting points on the fender going up. You have 2 in the middle. You have 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, and then there's 1 bolt. You guys can see that. God. Hang on, guys. Right there. Try to get the camera as close as I can. There's 1 bolt right in the middle that comes undone. That goes straight up into the front area. I know this is a very dumbed down version and not very informative of where to use it, but if you guys are going to be making your own splitter, probably because Eric won't be selling these, you're going to have to find your own mounting locations, and this is just where I used them for Eric's model, but plenty of other people make custom brackets, like Battle Arrow. They make brackets, I believe, you can maybe just buy, and you can use those, and those are really beefy and sturdy. But if you guys are going to make your own splitter, you guys are going to have to find your own mounting points, but for the most part, you can use OEM locations. You're just going to have to be creative. It's sturdy. You guys can see me stand on it. If anything, I should add another point here because it's a little loose. I do not have splitter rods, which I should get maybe, and then mount them into the bumper beam. The next thing to do for this splitter is to make it a quick release system, so every time if I do want to take the splitter off, I don't have to take all the bolts off. A quick release would be the best option. If you guys follow Jake.sti on Instagram, he made a full quick release front splitter, and that thing looks badass. But to wrap up this short video, so technically there are 8 points of contact where there are bolts and rods connecting it. 2 on the outside, 1 per each fender. 2 in the middle front right below the intercooler, 2 in the middle, and then 1 in the very back. But I mean in the front, that's not going anywhere. I can stand on that. I believe I could even, see right there, that's where it has the most play. So if anything, the sides need to have a little bit of an upgrade. Look into making your own if you can have the time and materials. Finding the mounting points aren't terrible. It's more creating your custom brackets that's going to be hard. But if you buy, there's plenty of companies that sell full splitters. They're going to give you exact instructions of where to mount and everything. So functional front splitter, not a show splitter connected to your bumper, which I used to have. As you guys can see, don't make my mistakes. That's not going to do anything. It's hard to get under the car. I wish I had a lift I could show you guys. But yeah, if you have any questions, please ask down below or hit me up on Instagram, and I'll do my best to respond. But take care, guys.